Hey, this is Mark with Mark's House of Cars, and this is my 1994 Toyota Supra Twin Turbo 6-speed in Baltic Blue. I love this car. It's one of many cars I have, and this is a car I've wanted for many, many years, and I'm glad I finally was able to get this car. I've had it about 5 years now, and it is pretty much stock. It's got an exhaust on it, some wheels, as you can see. Otherwise, the motor is stock. It does have over 100,000 miles. I've got some camera gear right here that we'll use. Target top, and it really is just a fun car. Got some stuff in it, don't worry, I'll clean that out. I can take my kids in it, which is nice, which I can't always do with my Lamborghini, the Diablo, or the Countach. I only can take one person in those, and the Esprit as well. Now the 928 and the Mustang I can take more people in, but it is nice having a little bit more room. But this is not a supercar. This is not in the same caliber or level of the Lamborghinis, but still an amazing car, fun car, and we'll go for some drives, and we'll talk about it here coming up. We're in the 1994 Toyota Supra Twin Turbo 6-speed US version. This is a car I wanted for so long. I love Supras since before high school, really. And I always try to get my dad to buy one, not a new one, but a used one back in the 90s. He wasn't really a car person, so that didn't work out well. But we did test drive a few back then, which was fun. I think that was before I could even drive. But my first car was an 87 Supra NA Midnight Blue 5-speed. Loved that car. Paid $4,500 for it. And first car I ever bought my own. My parents gave me a real crappy car. And I had a 90 Supra NA and a 90 Supra Turbo 5-speed. And loved Supras, always wanted a twin turbo one. And then Fast and the Furious came out, and I almost lost some of my luster for Supra because it got hyped so much, and the paint and the inaccuracies, different things in there. I mean, it was a cool movie, it was interesting, but I liked Supras a lot more before that, and then I kind of realized, hey, I shouldn't let a movie dictate how I feel about a car. I should let myself dictate it and realize, yeah, I still love Supras. They're still really fun, really cool, no matter what the movie did. And this one is stock, and it is 35 degrees out, so we don't have much traction here. That was spinning the wheels pretty good there at the top of first gear. I guess it's not 100% stock. It's got an aftermarket exhaust, aftermarket wheels, and an aftermarket radiator. That's it. The rest of it is bone stock, as far as I know. I bought it, gosh, 5 years ago now. Paid $57,000 for it. Has kind of high mileage. Has like 118,000 miles, but the speedometer was replaced and broken, so it shows 38,000, but that's not correct. So it had some issues with it, but losing traction again. But still an amazing car, fun car. And with my cars, I plan to drive them, have fun with them. I don't really have a plan to sell them, so I'm okay if they have like some mileage stuff, or if they have high miles, as long as they're maintained well. A lot of times that's better than having a car that has no miles and has never been driven. So I'm okay with that. My Countach, Diablo, Aston Martin, Esprit all have pretty low miles, but it's hard to find cars like that don't have low miles. So, but this car isn't like, a lot of people think these are like the fastest cars ever built. They're 320 horsepower stock. So, I mean, they're fast for the 90s. They weren't the fastest thing on the street. They really get the reputation for being able to be built and built fast. And if you read about Toyota, when they made this Supra and this car, they thought about giving it like 500 to 600 horsepower stock. Like, they knew the motor could take it, they had the capabilities, but they just thought the world was not ready for that at that time, to have like the fastest car, or one of the fastest cars in the world be a Toyota. And they had like their gentleman's agreement where they limited horsepower in Japan at the time to like 276 or whatever it was. So there were some issues fighting against them, but they almost did it, and that would have been crazy cool had they done that. But they built the engine to handle that, so with some modifications, you 500, 600 horsepower without really doing anything to the motor at all. Now, if you go up to 900,000, then you got to build it and, you know, do some more work, go to single turbo, stuff like that. But the motor can handle that too, which is why these have become such a cool classic, just because of the power that inline six can handle. But yeah, still fun to drive, even stock. I have a blast with them, and I should have bought one a lot sooner than I did, honestly. But this car now is probably worth close to $100,000, even with some of the issues it has, just because it's so hard to find. That is not how you drive, but anyway, so hard to find these cars, even though they built quite a few of them. It's not like it's a super rare car, not like Lamborghinis or Lotus or Aston Martin or anything. Those are way, way, way rarer, but there's a massive demand for these cars, so that's kind of where, you know, why they're becoming rarer, more expensive, harder to find. Lots of people built them into race cars. Very few people leave them stock, so finding stock ones is often difficult as well. And I plan to leave this one stock for the most part. I might do a few things in the future, but nothing crazy. I'm not going to do a single turbo. I'm not going to build the motor or anything like that. I don't need cars to be crazy, insanely fast. I'm okay with usually how they are stock. Now my Mustang 5.0, I put a supercharger on it. I made it faster, but it only had 215, 225 horsepower stock, so it kind of needed it. And my Porsche 928, I did a few mods to it, chip, exhaust. That made a huge difference on it. So yeah, I do some stuff, but not like, I'm not doing crazy builds or anything like that. But still, love this car, fun car, awesome car. And it's definitely not a supercar though, right? If I get in the Lamborghini, I'm sitting a foot lower. I'm lean, you know, everything's different. It's just a different feel. The materials are different. There's leather everywhere. Like, it's very, you know, high-end, luxurious supercar feel. Even 80s and 90s Lamborghinis. Of course, it wouldn't speed limit. But with this car, you know, there's lots of plastic. It's a cloth roof. It does have the target top. You know, the cockpit kind of faces you. I always thought that was real cool, kind of like an airplane. Yeah, that's why I call it a cockpit. But you know, it's not like super fancy. This isn't a supercar. This isn't a Ferrari. This isn't a Lamborghini. It's a Toyota, a cool Toyota, fast